Went for lunch in a local restaurant called Blanco with my colleagues. And they had some salad and some cheesy cheese-based vegetable soup, and then I had salmon which had blue cheese in it. I mean, it was a pate or a thing made of, and now my hands are numb. Cheese. Don't know. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. I'm clumsy. Writing isn't as good as normally. Not good. Fairly horrible day. After lunch, my hands went numb and I couldn't properly function. I was very unstable on my feet. But now, as the day has progressed, my feeling has become more pleasant. So it's and I have this kind of numbness I have not had in days. And now we went to a new lunch restaurant, and then suddenly it appeared. Very interesting. We're coming up to my first ever IT job. I remember when I started at Tietoenator at the time, and at the moment I was working in a factory called Hiltunen EOY. I was doing powder coating. I think I mentioned Hartwall Arena in one of the videos. Anyway, that was my job, and then I got called because this was 1990s. This was the IT hype. Just about everybody who knew how to switch on a computer got a job in IT. So it wasn't very difficult to get a job. But basically that building there, that white one, it has Atos reading on the corner of it. And that's where I worked. My offices were on the opposite side of that building, looking at that train track going to downtown Helsinki, and then you could get to Kauklahti, Leppävaara and all these places going up here. And now we're going to buy ingredients to a lentil soup that I'm gonna prepare, because I bought a large quantity of different types of beans and lentils and all of that from this organic store. Went shopping, and it's weird. I can feel a remarkable improvement in my balance hour to hour. Today at work, when I was getting out my chair and moving about, I was, completely out of control portion, so I had to stabilize myself to get up and do certain things in order. But now, going shopping and coming out of there, just, I'm not normal, I'm not saying that, but I was fairly good. Spent the whole day at work listening to obviously I was programming and doing actual productive work, so I wasn't just entertaining myself. But that is what I do. I listen to teachings all day, every day. And today, the guy was James D. White or whatever he's called. He's an apologetics guy. And funny enough, we're just driving past an instance that I was listening to him. So that is the horrid abomination in Finland where they baptize people, or they take baptisms for dead. I remember I heard it on the teaching how it goes, and but they have the weirdest theology about God, and that we will all become gods, and by procreating we're creating the possibility of new gods being created, and scary stuff. They have Jesus in their faith, but Jesus, I think it was Gabriel that was, he was a spirit being, and then Gabriel was made incarnate as Jesus, and then when Jesus died, then he became Gabriel again. It's absolutely weird stuff. What else? Yeah. So feelings go on and off, and what was nice about this day was that after feeling horrible, the recovery, or me feeling better, it was quicker than normal. So it took only 3 hours or so for me to feel. I never feel completely normal, I'm not saying that, but feel kind of manageable, that it's not overwhelming. So I can cope with this. I had my magnesium last night. Didn't help. It was a horrid night. Just thinking about stuff and couldn't get to sleep. Sometimes they used to each other, then smacking sardines, kale, apples, ginger juice, and then blended them all together into puree, and had rice ice cream, tropical nuts on top of it, and then dressing. sound quality on that previous one was atrocious. Sorry about that. Hopefully this one will be slightly better. Arriving into Stockholm, I've now learned how to pace myself through Arlanda, so I'm feeling alright. And in this picture I can see it again. I'm starting to get white bits in my beard. And this is a very recent occurrence. Trimmed them off. They were somehow protruding from my face. I'm not going to colour them, though, but maintain a fairly clean look. I have a bus driver that is in love with the horn on this thing. I've never heard a horn being blown so often on a bus. And judging by his look, he looks like a native. So I'm surprised. Maybe he's learning new skills. Or he spent his winters in southern Europe learning. Had a vegetarian lunch at Karot, which is just a couple of 20 meters from the main entrance. Falafels. It was good, and I haven't had any numbness sensations caused by it, which is always a positive thing. And I'm weak, and there's no access to the building tomorrow, so I'm staying at the hotel, fiddling my thumbs. Or not fiddling my thumbs, I'm gonna do a proper work day. One thing that I have been thinking about a lot is when you hear teachers teaching about their suffering and their pain and what they went through, you actually have no idea how to relate to stuff like that. You're ill-equipped to do stuff like that. I'm coming to the conclusion, or I have been for a while, that God does forge something in you through suffering or unpleasant circumstances. Yeah. If you, yeah, this being a diary, I want to record it for, future reference. That honestly, if we look at my family and what we've decided to put our effort towards, and where do we spend our spare time, to a majority, there isn't even competition about it. It has been put towards work in the kingdom. Meaningful in the eyes of men, maybe not. But nevertheless, it has been a conscious choice of ours that we will put our money, our time, and our energy towards working in God's kingdom, primarily through Terahi's work, but it's a decision that the whole family takes. And now to go through certain amount of stress and hardship and suffering. I truly hope that this will be a story for me, that I can relate back to in the future. Regardless of my feelings and my roller coaster emotions, Jesus is still sitting on his throne, and Jesus is king.
När du klär av dig